So what is going on, everybody? Fernando Silva here with another video, and Apple released iPadOS 15.1 Beta 2 to all developers to try out, to test out, to see if those bug fixes and improvements and performance enhancements are actually worth it. So that's what we're going to go over today, and we're going to see what's new with Beta 2. Again, we're with iPadOS 15.1 Beta 2, and let's see if they actually brought anything new and tangible, because again, now that we're in the Beta 2 with 15.1, things are probably going to be more bug fixes, because we saw that with Beta 1, it was all about bringing back SharePlay and then those vaccination cards inside of the wallet. So this time, let's see what happens and see if there's anything new. But without further ado, let's get into it. So let's hop right into this video, everybody. So as you guys saw, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you see that I always post the next update to see how big it is, to let people know how much storage space they need to have. So here, we saw that with iPadOS 15.1 Beta 2, we're looking at about 650 megabytes. So give yourself at least 1 to 1.5 gigs of extra storage to make sure you have enough room to get this installed. So that's usually a rule of thumb, double whatever you need to have in terms of storage installed to make sure it installs correctly. But then again, we have Developer Beta 2 15.1, and this is the M1 12.9-inch iPad Pro 128 gig baseline model. And then what I want to show you is actually going into the build number, seeing what we're dealing with, because last time we were on the H variant. So if I pull this up and show you guys, we are on 15.1 19B5052F. So now that we have that F on there, which means we're getting closer to the A. Last time we were on H. I think next time we'll have D, C, B, A, and then that RC edition or the Grandmaster edition. Apple this time around might not give us as many betas because again, we're on a 15.1 and it's not a super major update, but they also need to make sure that their updates, because again, 15.1, they're bringing back SharePlay and they're doing all those vaccination wallets and those vaccination cards inside, especially with the wallet over here with the iPhones. So again, they got to make sure that those things are working correctly. But with 15.1 Beta 2, aside from SharePlay and those vaccination cards, really nothing has changed. One thing that Apple did do was actually update their productivity suite. So if we move over, you can see that Apple did update all three of their main productivity suites. So you have Keynote, you have Numbers, and then you have Pages. I don't know why they get such a bad rap. I mean, look how bad it's rated, because I mean, I use them pretty often and they're great for design, especially Keynote. And then, yeah, Numbers need some help, but now you can see that we have pivot tables. But some of the main things that were brought to the iWork suite was just the ability to multitask and be able to work from home with it. So what they did was they added live video to make presentations even more engaging. So basically, it's almost like a video chat feature now. Basically, I think it has to do somewhat with SharePlay, because you can FaceTime while giving a presentation to, again, make it more engaging, make sure that you're presenting the way that you want to present, instead of just kind of sending a presentation over and letting that client or that prospect like decipher what you want to say and how you want to say it. But again, you have multi-presenter and slideshow to allow participants to take turns controlling the shared presentation, new slideshow controls, radar charts, drag and drop copy text, instant translation because of the new translation application that's in iPadOS 15. So those are all welcome additions. And then now with Numbers, I think this is going to be a great update for people that are coming from Excel and they want to use Numbers, because look, now we have pivot tables to provide a powerful and flexible way to view and analyze data. So you can create them from scratch, you can edit them, you can import them, you can start with an Excel version and bring it over to a Numbers version. But again, they're also adding radar charts, redesign quick filters, drag and drop, and also allow you to use that same functionality of being able to share this with other people. Also, you saw how annoying that is? So again, I'm in an image and it wants to live text, so it wants to look everything up instead of zoom in and out. I saw that MKBHD brought this up, but in a future video, we're gonna go over 15 to 20 must-know settings that you wanna turn off and on to, again, avoid situations like this, because this is really annoying. But if we move over to the last one, this is Pages. Again, very similar. So screen view on iPhone automatically displays text, improved book publishing, quick format bar, drag and drop copy text. So again, bringing all that functionality that they brought to Keynote and Numbers over to, again, Pages, which is their Word version or their Word doc version in the iWork productivity suite. But aside from that, there isn't really anything new with 15.1 Beta 2. Again, Apple's just making sure that we have some nice bug fixes, because again, some issues that I've personally dealt with. One of the main issues has been with HomeKit and using Siri, because for some reason, when 15.0 was updated, and again, with 15.1, Siri will recognize my voice and it'll take the command, but it won't do anything to the HomeKit. I have to like physically go into HomeKit into one of my devices to turn all the lights off and on and make sure that my settings are correct and my scenes are correct. So that's something that I've been dealing with. And then also accidental touches. I don't know if it's me or maybe my hands are getting thicker or something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm having a lot more accidental touches when I'm using my palm. So like when I'm here and then I try to press something else, normally it wouldn't really deal or it wouldn't really matter. Like the iPad would know what to do. But I have been dealing with an issue where like if my palm is resting anywhere on the screen, then the rest of the screen is unresponsive, which makes sense in theory, but again, it's not something that I've ever dealt with before, and now I'm dealing with it. But the last thing I do want to touch on is battery life. So let's go into the settings. Let's see how battery life has been, because again, you guys know that my battery experience on the iPads hasn't been too great. But let's go to the last 10 days. We're dealing with about 2.5 hours of screen on time, but I want to look at these last 2 days. So Monday and Tuesday. Monday, we have 7 hours and 37 minutes of screen on time, and we used, look at that, less than 100%. So this is a day that we actually got some good battery life. We got 46% of use in LumaFusion. The home screen and lock screen, I guess I left that on, so that's probably has something to do with it, but you can see that we did get some decent screen on time with our battery life. And if we go on a day like Tuesday, we almost have 10 hours of screen on time, but again, 150+% of battery. So again, this is the way that I personally analyze it. I'll go into the day that he has a lot of use, almost 10 hours of screen on time. You can see that with Zoom, we had 4 hours and 1 minute. LumaFusion, we had 1 hour and 22, but you can see that with 41%, Zoom gave us 4 hours. That's a pretty good ratio, which means that I can sit on a Zoom call for a very long time with this iPad. LumaFusion, on the other hand, it took almost 1.5 hours for only 20% use. YouTube TV, 1 hour of use for 15%. So you can see that we did an abundance of different things on this day. But again, we did have to charge it at some point during the day. But if you try to look at it from a 100% perspective, we're probably getting around 6.5 hours or 7 hours of screen on time with 100% charge. That's pretty much gonna do it for this view. Let's get out of here and go to the normal view. Also, what do you guys think about this iPad mini? Not cute. So that's pretty much gonna do it for this video, everybody. Like you saw, there were very little, if any, actual tangible differences with iPadOS 15.1 Beta 2. Again, this is a lot more performance enhancements, bug fixes, making sure this is gonna be ready for the public, especially on the SharePlay side. We did see some improvements with SharePlay in terms of continuity, making sure that it works more flawlessly and works how it's supposed to, because again, Apple brought it out for iPadOS 15 beta, I wanna say 2 through 5, and then removed it because they felt, hey, SharePlay is not ready yet, and with people on the beta program and then trying to FaceTime and SharePlay with people not on the beta program, it kind of messed everything up. So I'm sure Apple, now that they have SharePlay on 15.1, is assuming that most people have the ability with 15.0 to at least have it in the back end. So I think that's why Apple's bringing SharePlay back and making sure that it's working correctly, so when 15.1 comes out to the public, it's ready to go. But other than that, we did see that Apple made some updates to the productivity suite of apps. I think it's called iWork, so Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. Those are all welcome additions that are gonna help from a work from home standpoint. But outside of that, like I said, nothing too crazy. Battery life is doing a little bit better, which is great to see. But again, let's see what else Apple has in store with Beta 3. And then I'm hoping that with like 15.2 or 15.3, we get something a little bit kind of revolutionary, something a little bit better, maybe a better way to like multitask, or maybe some added widgets in there to make sure that we have a better experience. But let's see what they do. But that's gonna do it for this video, everybody. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out channel sponsor Paperlike for always keeping us hooked up. And be on the lookout for that Paperlike iPad mini screen protector because it's coming real soon. But until next time.